Welcome to On the Chain. This is a Saturday morning. We are here to rant and rave. This is Jeff. What is going on? Glad to be here. It's so awesome you guys are here with us on the chain because today we are going to dig into the SEC's avoidance and the government's avoidance of inflation because they say it isn't real, doesn't exist, but yet the crypto market is bad and the crypto market isn't going anywhere. And it's the exact opposite. The crypto space is heating up. It's like rocket fuel, and everything's getting ready to lift off, and it's going to be amazing. So we want to talk about that Ripple XRP. That case keeps churning and burning. And there's a lot that we want to get into regarding that. There was some observation that a Songbird may have escaped the laboratory. So we got to talk a little bit about the Songbird that escaped the laboratory. Some Ripple XRP escrow moving around. James Fillon talking about some things, and attorney John Deaton on Fox News Friday night. We're going to dig into that little clip and we're going to get into that and discuss really interesting things happening today. Really great things happening this past week. It's going to be crazy because we're going to cover all of that stuff. Man, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. So you know what that means. We got to kick this thing off. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Good stuff. Man, XRP at $1 as we speak right now. $1. It's just like a stable coin. USDC at $1, XRP at $1, Tether at $1, Bitcoin at $47,673.03. Ethereum at $3,285.81, and Cardano in the number 3 spot right now at $2.21. What an exciting place. Well, how great is it that for the past 10, 11 years, this new asset class has been building and developing, and all these new assets and projects have developed as a direct result. It all started with a dream. It all started with this Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever it is out there, saying, you know what? There's probably a better way. There's probably a better solution. There's probably a way to monetize the internet and free people's payment structure, free people's money. And here we are, we sit in 2021, and it's an amazing place because you see all of the big entities, the financial institutions, they're joining, but they aren't joining. The big banks, they're kind of joining, but they aren't joining. The government's kind of joining, not joining. With all of that stuff going on, there's still resistance. There's pushback. Why? Because you have the titans of yesterday that are holding on. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their financial status. And they don't want to allow any newcomers into the space to take the mantle of the new titans of tomorrow. But yet you see this asset class, you see digital currency growing, developing, expanding at a rapid rate. Thursday night, we had Decentralized Dan on with us, and he sat there right in front of Gary Gensler and called him to task for the nonsense that he spews, for the misinformation that he keeps passing on his inaccurate attacks on the digital asset space. So how amazing is it? Now, as we get into it, right, there we go, Oskin, despite fake news about Ripple and the SEC, it may have done some good. So we've got Jim D all the way from Cape Canaveral hanging in here with us, all the way, Florida. That's right. So, man, there's it's really amazing. It's really great. And then Friday night, we have attorney John Deaton, who is taking on the behemoth, taking on the SEC. And he gets brought on backing, discussing, analyzing crypto and XRP and what's going on with this case. And now on Friday night, we have John Deaton, attorney John Deaton, comes on to Fox Business to discuss. And that's what we want to get into that. We want to talk a little bit about that as well. I think that would be great. And Thomas Brennan, is this live? I don't know. I'm not sure if this is live, but Thomas, if you think it's live, then it's what you believe. Kidding. Yes, this is live. So Tony Moore said, all you lucky Floridians, to have a great governor serving to protect your liberty and freedom. Don't take it for granted. Oh my God. I feel really bad for you up there in Massachusetts. It's very trying. I feel for you. We definitely would never take it for granted down here, the freedoms that we have. Lots of stuff going on. So, all right, let's get with this. Let us share a little bit of this space here. Let me pull this over here. Let's dig in. We need to somehow tweet this message out. Let's see if we can get this message out there. If we can tweet it out, that'd be awesome. I didn't see the notification go up. I don't know if I got my notification early on that we were going to be going live. And I don't know if the notification went out yet. Oh, there it is. It did go out. There it is. The the thumbnail was a little bit jumbled up today, but inflation isn't real. Crypto is bad. You got all the rocket ships getting ready, and you have the banker blowing up the balloon with his fiat currency. So, oh, it's great. It's great. It's really great stuff. And then, I was just outside. I was just outside, and there was this crowd brewing. And you should have heard what they were chanting. No, Gary, no! No, Gary, no! No, Gary! That was just a little snippet of the crowd. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy stuff going on with them. All right. So I pulled this over here. I don't think so, Chip. Not yet. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But Dave Portnoy did come out and say that he has been. So that's very interesting. All right, here we go. Let's pull this up. We are going to review, take a look at, and courtesy of James Rule XRP, he's got this clip up here. So this is Fox Business talking about the crypto space, talking about XRP, Bitcoin, and many of the others. And they're going to have attorney John Deaton in the hot seat with them side by side right over here. And yes, Chip, big news. On the chain broke. 18,000 subscribers. 18,000 subscribers broken. I think we're at like 1850 right now. So that's awesome. Thanks to everybody out there who has subscribed to the channel and promoting the channel and getting the word out there. And yes, BZ Comedy, as always, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you go out, get your cup of espresso, because there is so much to dig into. We have a ton of stuff to dig into, and we got to do this rapidly. We got a lot. Hey, hang on. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Hang on. I would like to say I go through different coffees, but Segfredo. The Segfredo, it's rich, it's robust, it's a good dark roast. It's amazing. You guys got to check it out. See if you can find it, and it would be awesome. You can go right to the Segfredo Cafe and order it there. We don't even get anything for that. We're always kind of shouting them out here on Saturdays. We should have a section just for that. But anyhow, all right. You know what I forgot to do though? I'm gonna have to stop sharing my screen. Why? Because I forgot to click the audio button. Now, there we go. Hang on. Here we go. Perfect. And maybe eventually we'll get some volcano roast. That'll be awesome. And for Gökhan over in Istanbul in Turkey, Turkish coffee is amazing. And for all you guys, if you haven't had Turkish coffee yet, there's a process in making Turkish coffee. You don't just put it in the filter, You don't want to even put Turkish coffee into the little stovetop espresso maker that we use. You put it into a little pot, right? And you bring it to a boil with the coffee grounds mixed into the water. Then you want to simmer it down a little bit, bring it to a boil again. You can do that a couple times and it's amazing. It extracts out the flavors from the Turkish coffee. Mix in a little bit of sugar if you like that. But if you're going to add sugar, you can't add it afterwards. You got to add the sugar while you're cooking it because then the sugar gets infused with the coffee grounds and it kind of melts into the water. And then, oh my God, and you let it simmer. So you got to let all the grounds settle into your pot. Then you pour it. Now, as you move out of Turkey and you start going into the Middle East, different countries have slightly different ways on how they prepare that coffee. And it's amazing, right? So they kind of adjust it a little bit. And sometimes they'll even put cardamom, like in Lebanon, they like to put cardamom seeds into that coffee mix like that. Oh, man. Yes. So, but then Chip likes to go to Starbucks and get his, he likes to get his acidic based coffees over there in Starbucks. So anyhow, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Bosbe, Segafredo. I think there's an A after the G. Segafredo. I think so. I believe so. I could be wrong. Anyhow, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go through this. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be really, really cool. Hang on. Here we go.
Trading platform Coinbase also is rising, as you can see, a gain of more than 2% there. Silvergate Capital up 9.5%. And then you've got MicroStrategy. That is up, pushing 6% right now. By the way, MicroStrategy owns more than $3.1 billion worth of Bitcoin.
I think they're actually at 5 billion. The last that I looked. Oh, no, sorry. It was like $3.5 billion in Bitcoin. Sorry. Like three. So that's amazing. So look at some of that. The crypto sphere. This is on Fox Business. So for all those naysayers out there, for all those like Janet Yellen and Elizabeth Warren and Jerome Powell. Oh, wait a minute. Jerome Powell retracted his statement. And we're going to cover that. We're going to cover his retraction. He didn't say that he wanted to get rid of all crypto. He did, but he didn't. All right, well, we'll get into that. All right, let's keep this going.
Right now. Well, staying with crypto, we've been talking a lot about Ripple on this show, the company that's currently embroiled in a fierce battle with the SEC over the status of its XRP coin. But it's not the only lawsuit in the works. There's also a class action suit that's been filed on behalf of the thousands of XRP customers who lost a lot of money when the SEC sued Ripple and the value of XRP tanked.
How do you like that? Going straight to it. How do you like that? Just like hitting it, aggressively, right? This is on Fox Business. This isn't YouTube, right? This is on Fox Business, and they're discussing how the SEC tanked the value of XRP when they filed the lawsuit. The narrative that has played out, the narrative that they want you to play out, that they want you to believe that's playing out is that the SEC is there protecting the retail investors, that the SEC isn't damaging retail holders by the lawsuit. But now bringing on attorney John Deaton onto Fox News solidifies the fact that there is a counter lawsuit, a class action lawsuit against the SEC. So let's listen.
Charlie Gasparino is here. We welcome also John Deaton, the lawyer who's representing those XRP customers. And I know that you too have had a lot of discussions about this already, Charlie.
Yeah, we should also get a price of XRP if we can, because it's pertinent to this story. John, thanks for joining us. We've been conversing a little bit on Twitter. I'd like to ask you this: what is the ultimate goal of the case? And when did you get into this, and why? Why did you? Because you're a lawyer. I haven't read about you in the past going after major corporations. This is a class action suit, I believe, against the Securities Exchange Commission. Am I right about that?
This is great, right? I mean, this is, here you have John Deaton. Now, we've had John Deaton on the show multiple times, right? And here we have, again, John Deaton sitting there on Fox Business with Gasparino and tearing this down. This is great. right? This is awesome. It's so amazing to see this on Fox Business like this. Yeah, it's great. Let's go.
Yes, right now it's a motion to intervene into the SEC versus Ripple case.
So what made you get into it?
Well, first off, I want to thank you, Cheryl, for having me. And when I say thank you, I'm not just saying thank you on behalf of myself. I'm saying thank you on behalf of 22,000 XRP holders who have joined this fight against regulatory, not just uncertainty, but overreach, and also to bring into light the massive conflicts of interest and the gross appearance of impropriety. I got involved because when I read this complaint on Christmas Eve of the last Christmas, I was outraged that the SEC would be alleging exactly what they're alleging in this case. They basically sued not just Ripple, but the hundreds of thousands of XRP holders, many of which have never heard of the company Ripple, never heard of Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson. And as you know, that started just by me and has turned into now 22,000, and Charlie, it's growing every day.
Yeah, I mean, let's just back up a minute. Remember, the SEC sued Ripple, saying the XRP cryptocurrency that's used on the Ripple platform is a security.
Now, I find it interesting as we're watching this, right? The timing of everything that was happening as they were rolling this out, right? So you've got it's interesting because as they're talking about the SEC, going after retail holders of XRP and the amounts of money that people lost due to the fact of this SEC lawsuit and the fact that John Deaton's here and we're getting into exactly what's going on. But in contrast to what is now being shown on the screen with them, right? There's sudden news. Biden arrives at Capitol Hill for spending talks. They're talking about the biggest spending initiative in the history of this country. In contrast to a growing asset class, which is XRP, which is, and overall the crypto space in general, which is deflationary, as opposed to spending talks utilizing an inflationary fiat currency. And as they're talking about spending, they're talking about spending the currency into oblivion. Because at the same time that we're seeing on this screen right now, this is the contrast. This is what we mentioned earlier on. When you have the Titans of yesterday on the left of the screen versus the conversation over the Titans of today and tomorrow that will be involved in the growth of this new asset class, this new space. So it's so amazing because as they're talking about spending talks, they're also talking about raising the debt ceiling, basically erasing the debt ceiling for government, meaning that they can spend into oblivion, that there are zero checks and balances on the side of the government. Now think about this and digest this for a long moment. On the right side here, John Deaton suing the SEC for their overreach and their zealousness of coming after Ripple and making statements that are not factual, as we know also from the conversation that we had with Decentralized Dan on Thursday for calling out Gensler in person. So this contrast here, and I believe we're going to start seeing this more and more and more in this contrast as the crypto space is taking off and expanding. What they're doing in this spending talks and the conversations and the disagreements, the battle that we're seeing waged here in the US anyways, over, it's unimaginable. It's really unimaginable. So you've got this conversation over $5 trillion Think about that. $5 trillion in expenses. Now they want to raise that expenditure to a level, like I said, that we've never seen before. Now, as they do that, inflation is going to continue to skyrocket. And you're going to see a separation of fiat currencies from the crypto space at a rapid pace at that point. So you're going to start seeing the value of the crypto space continue to increase exponentially as you see the fiat currency devalue exponentially. Now, how else do you see that? Right? And that's why looking at this screen right now is so impressive. It's so impressive because think about just for a moment that the cost of gas has doubled. The cost of products sitting on a shelf have doubled. You've got, issues with logistics all over the world. You have all sorts of issues that are happening. Many of them are artificial. Many of them have been put in place by other entities in the world, as we know, with chip shortages and all these things like that are impacting the outcome of our economy. While at the same time, you have people like Janet Yellen, Jerome Powell, Elizabeth Warren, Gary Gensler, and others who have come out against cryptocurrency. And you see central banks around the world that are coming out in favor of central bank digital currencies. So think about that. Think about how crazy that is. So, all right, let's go on. Let's go on.
And they should have registered it, which they didn't. And they're saying because of that, you owe us a ton of money, $1.5 billion. When that happened, XRP was deplatformed from major exchanges. The price went down. People like you're a holder, I assume, in the past of this. I think that's you've mentioned that to me in the past. But people like you who held it saw the value of the holdings go down dramatically. And here's the rub. The rub, the way I read your complaint and the comments by the XRP community is simply this: Ripple used XRP to finance the build out of its Ripple platform, which is actually a decent platform. It's cross-border payments.
Now, I want to make another statement here. I don't mean to keep breaking it up. These clowns over here that we see walking, right? So we're talking about the SEC also, and there's some things that we're going to go over if we have some time, if we don't spend all of our time on this. It's just not accurate about digital assets. Now, in Congress, we have regulatory clarity, or bills for regulatory clarity that have been sitting in Congress in the Financial Services Committee for years. The Token Taxonomy Act. And we have other bills that have sat in Congress that have really pushed the crypto space to the periphery, right? And one of the things that Gasparino just said was that the government is stating, or the SEC is stating, that by Ripple not registering as a security, meaning that, again, they're looking at XRP as an unregistered security, whereas we also saw that Gensler, in that question from Thursday, and previous references, is that the 6,000 digital assets out there, in his mind, they're all trying to be currencies. And he's also said that the majority of them are probably securities. And it's interesting because here you have a transparent, very transparent mechanism through the ledger and through blockchain that connects all the dots. On the other side, you have these guys in Congress that want to erase a debt ceiling and keep printing money with zero transparency. Zero transparency. We have no idea if the elections are legitimate. There's no transparency there. We have no idea if the way they spend their money is fully transparent or is accurate, because there's no transparency over there. We have no idea how much money is transferred into the pockets of congressional representatives by lobbyists, because there is really no true mechanism of transparency. We have no idea how many millions and millions and millions of dollars these people make when they leave government and get hired on by lobbyists, because there's no transparency as payback to things that they did while they were in Congress. Yet we're seeing this. It's amazing right now. We're seeing the new technology getting beat up by the old technology that wants to remain completely unchecked. Completely unchecked. So imagine that. Imagine that they want to go now. They're talking about spending talks in the trillions, but imagine if it was on the ledger. Imagine if it was on the, imagine if it was all on the blockchain, so it's transparent, so you could see exactly how they were spending their funding. Do you think people might be a little more supportive? Hey, we see the income that's coming in through taxes. We see the outflow to your expenses. And now we're going to regulate how much money you can spend and on what you spend it. Over here on this other side, yes, the SEC is ganging up and beating up on Ripple, that has a transparent mechanism to simplify and decrease the cost of moving money all around the world, right? So this is I love seeing this. I mean, there's so much more going on in this screen right now. It's amazing. Let's go.
With crypto, obviously the XRP. It's no different than what Ethereum did with Ether back in the day, but Ether got a pass. Ethereum got a pass with Ether. You guys didn't. Is that essentially it?
Well, there's a lot to it. I will tell you this. I wouldn't be involved in this case if the SEC was only going after Ripple for selling XRP in the early years when they were building their platform. I wouldn't be involved. Whether that would be selective enforcement or not is none of my concern. But in this case, the SEC is making the absurd claim that all sales of XRP for the last 8 years, that every single one of them constitutes a transfer of unregistered security, including in the secondary market. That means my clients who purchased on Coinbase in 2020, they're claiming, even though they've never heard of Ripple, that we're in a common enterprise with Ripple. It's absurdity, Charlie.
And so what is your resolution? What would you like to see?
Well, right now, we've asked the court permission to come into the case and intervene as de facto defendants, or in the alternative, to grant us amicus standing with participatory rights. Basically, what that means is to allow us to prove that the XRP that we purchased is not only not a security, we also didn't enter into a common enterprise with Ripple.
Right.
Because Ripple's went on record to say that they owe nothing to XRP holders. They have shareholders, and the SEC is clearly not acting on our behalf.
That's an amazing statement. The SEC is clearly not acting on our behalf. Now, we've seen this multiple times now in a short period of time, that retail investors, everyday people like all of you guys, and me and Chip and everybody else, all of us regular people, have invested in assets, yet the SEC has never really seen 20,000 customers. 20,000 customers are coming out, banding together and saying to the SEC, you have misspoken and you have misstepped by singling out XRP as a security and by singling out Ripple as dealing in an unregistered security that is XRP. And you have cost us billions of dollars in losses because of your action. Not the action of Ripple, not the action of XRP customers, not based on speculation and high risk investment. None of that at all of it the decrease in valuation and the lack of increase in valuation is directly due to the SEC. So, but for the action of the SEC, there is a higher probability chance right now that XRP, the asset, would be sitting at 2, 3, 4, 5 times what it is right now. But for the action of the SEC filing suit in December of 2020 against Ripple, and at the same time coming out directly and attacking XRP retail customers. I mean, as you let all of this digest and you think about this, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. So then you also saw thousands and thousands and thousands of crypto investors and those passionate about blockchain that came out when they were trying to pass the infrastructure bill that they crammed through the Senate. They came out and said, you cannot add crypto legislation backhanded into an infrastructure bill. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. This is what they do all the time. If you remember, Nancy Pelosi years ago said, if you want to see what's in the bill, you have to pass the bill. Most congressional representatives and their staff do not read the bills that they vote on. So now they are going to cram in crypto legislation, punitive regulation on the crypto space in the US to the benefit of the rest of the world, right? To the benefit of the rest of the world, to the detriment of those in the US, business builders and innovators. They wanted to cram in punitive regulation. Now, then they doubled down on this, right? So we'll get back to this in a minute. Then they doubled down. So TJ Mulligan is bringing up a solid point, right? Normally, in normal world, $10,000 is the number. If you're bringing in $10,000 into the country, you're carrying out of the country, the government wants to know about it. If you move $10,000 from one account to the next, it gets reported. $10,000 is that number that at one point they had discussed it and said, hey, let's use $10,000. People aren't moving $10,000 around a lot. So if it happens, it's not that often and it can be reported, except for, obviously if you're making big expenditures and things like that. They want to hire thousands of IRS agents. They wanted to allocate like $60 billion to hiring more IRS agents in order to enforce a surveillance of $600, meaning that if you transact in $600 fiat currency, moving from your bank account to another bank account, you make a purchase, whatever it is, $600. Now, almost every day there are people that are moving at least $600. They are making people's life almost impossible, and they want to inspect with a magnifying glass every moment of every second of every day of your life. Think about this. Nothing happens in a vacuum, right? We have John Deaton talking about the SEC attacking Ripple and not just going after the company, but attacking the XRP customers themselves. The SEC has statements stating that XRP retail investors aren't smart enough to understand what they are doing. They try to diminish and demoralize retail investors. So you start looking at some of the things that they're doing. None of this happens in a vacuum, and you have to understand it. You have to see it. You have to recognize it. So it's amazing to me. It really is amazing to me. So let's bring this back up. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
We just want to speak for ourselves.
You mentioned conflicts of interest. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. Jay Clayton was the head of the SEC that brought the case. A guy named Bill Henman was then at the head of corporate finance for the SEC, who played a role, I guess, in the case. you believe that those two gentlemen, who by the way, we've reached out for comment, they say no, they don't want to come on. So just so you know, I've tried to get them to give their side of the story. You think that they filed these cases and they have huge conflicts of interest? Can you explain some of that?
Sure. Well, here's what you have. You have Jay Clayton, who was the chairman of the SEC. His law firm represents Ethereum co-founders and competitors to Ripple. Bill Hinman worked for Simpson Thacher. It was a board member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And while he was working at the SEC, he was having private meetings with these Ethereum investors and collecting $15 million while working at the SEC from the firm that's on the board of the Ethereum.
Hey, these guys on the screen now, they all look like they're going to rob a bank or something, right? They're walking around with their masks on, and, you know, they're going to rob the American people. That's what they're going to do. That's where they're going. They're going into spending talks to figure out how they're going to fleece the American people out of more money. While over here, we've got conversation about the crypto space on how you can put more money back in the pockets of the people. Hang on.
Ethereum Alliance. After all these private meetings, Charlie, he gives a speech that declares Ethereum not a security, and we found out that these Ethereum investors helped write the speech.
Are you going to depose them in your suit?
Well, the goal is to depose them. Right now, we're just seeking to go into court in the Southern District of New York and represent ourselves and defend what we own, because Ripple's not going to do it and the SEC's not going to do it.
You want to answer a question, Cheryl?
Well,
that's a big statement. You know, he said that John Deaton saying that we have to go in and represent ourselves because the SEC isn't going to represent us. And Ripple obviously is not, you know, Ripple is trying to do their thing. And that's a really, really interesting point. You know, there's only about a minute left of this. Let's dig in. I know we spent like the entire hour so far basically just dissecting this, and there was a lot of other things to get to, but I find that going into this is so important. You know, there's so much to get out of this. Now, this is on Fox Business. So, you know, the fact that they're dissecting, and Gasparino has really been coming out on Twitter and hammering the point home, you know, about what's been going on as well. And we did reach out to a coworker of Gasparino, and she's trying to help us get Gasparino on the show. So hopefully we can get that to happen. You know, really would love to see that happen, to have Gasparino here. We'll have to reach out to Deaton again and bring him back on here and talk to him and really, you know, get some more feedback from him. Now, BRY here is saying, I can't believe John Deaton nowadays is now being interviewed by Fox. Proud XRP Army here, real diamond hands. So that's it. You know, I mean, think about where he started. You know, we had him on the show a while back when he first filed the suit and started getting into this. Lots and lots of stuff, you know, going on. This was really outstanding. The fact now that you fast forward all these months, and here he is now sitting on Fox Business. And this legitimizes, in my mind, because it legitimizes the action. Not to say it wasn't legitimate before, but it legitimizes it to mainstream watchers, right? You bring it on to the business show that all mainstream, whether they know crypto, don't know crypto, now it's front and center. Everybody knows exactly what's going on, and people's eyes are like, what is going on? How is it that you have retail investors that are now suing the SEC because the SEC has been detrimental to those retail investors? That is, you know, that's amazing. That's amazing. Jim D is saying the US dollar should be classified as a security since we are all banking on the certificate of corrupt, incompetent government destroying the value work of others to increase the value of our negative puts. There you go. That's interesting, right? Hang on. There was another one here. Hang on. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. And this was Kelly Slade is saying, since when do we watch the Prez walk into a building like that? That was real. It's stupid. It's stupidity. stupidity. That's why the contrast is so amazing, because you have on one side people fighting for what's right, right? People fighting for what's theirs, people fighting back against an overreaching entity within the government that is the SEC, that is going after Ripple and XRP holders. And here it is, John Deaton supporting the XRP community, right? This is representative of everything that is transacting over the past 8 or 9 months. You have, and really beyond that, but now you have these zealots that are trying to take, and the $600 and the marching in, they're parading in like they're going to do something because they gotta, they're going to go spend your money, and they want to steal another $5 trillion out of your pocket. They want to take $3.5 trillion. They want to erase the debt ceiling. They want to spend into oblivion. They want to inflate or deflate the value of the currency, because everything they're doing is creating, an inflationary situation. So we're going to devalue the currency, and they're going to inflate the cost. And then you're going to see cryptocurrency rise in value because it is deflationary against the fiat space. And people are like, what's going on? I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. And then you have all these people, watching them march in because they're supposedly going there to go help the people. They're not helping anybody but themselves. That's the whole point. And that's the contrast of what we're seeing here is amazing. It's just, it's amazing. I'm just loving, all of this stuff. It's fantastic. It's amazing, So hang on. Let's see. Hang on. Let's get this.
I want to say that the two of you are going to continue this conversation, because this story between the two of you and this interview is all over Twitter. And there was a lot of interest in this whole case. And it is fascinating. I'm going to let both of you continue with this. It's going to be online. Follow Charlie in particular on his Twitter blog, where that's all the news is breaking. And John Deaton, thank you so much for this. This was great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. We appreciate it. Charlie's been on top of this from the beginning.
It's fascinating. And he has been. Guys, thank you very much.
Holy cow. Do you see how excited she was about this too? The passion that she had over this. I mean, it's outstanding, right? It's amazing. It's so impressive. They're looking at this and they're like, this is it, right? This is the direction. Everybody knows that we're moving in a specific direction. Thank you, Attorney Deaton. That's a big thank you to John Deaton out there. It's outstanding. Really outstanding, for the work that he's doing. It's exactly it, and I think I saw somebody in that crowd that was up there with all those guys as they're walking around and parading and marching. You might want to adjust your speaker volume right about now, because I saw this guy in the crowd and he was shouting and looking and searching. And let me just show you this brief clip of this guy right here.
Gary!
Oh my God. That's awesome. So, but this is the direction we're going in. It's amazing, right? It really is. Spending the time to dissect that was really was great. It really was great. Lots of things going on in the space other than that. But there's, over the past, couple days, there's been, a lot of conversation, over the direction of the case, over the direction of, things that are being built in the space, especially as we look into what might be going on, building on the ledger. Lots of great things, lots of great things. Trying to find, let me see here. Oh, here's another one. So I'm going to put these kind of in side by side with each other. And let me see if I can close this. So this one, hang on. This is interesting because this was on Investor Place, right? Investor Place right here. Ripple will grow predictably once it beats the SEC. XRP is a stable, long-term winner in the making. This was 3 days ago. I've remained a steadfast proponent of Ripple as it continues its battle against the SEC. The cryptocurrency has played the role of David to the SEC's Goliath and looks likely to emerge victorious. That alone should give it plenty of fuel to move higher. And there's plenty to like beyond that, making it a long-term investment worth considering rather than a short-term play alone. That's on Investor Place, right? Then over here on Cointelegraph, they say here we have from a couple days ago, traders sit idly by as Ripple XRP price struggles to avoid a drop to 70. Obviously, we know right now it's like at $1.01, $1.02, somewhere in there. Ripple rallied 72% from August 7th, August 14th, but since then it's been dipping down, right? And then they get into what is XRP, when was it trading, what happened, etc. You know, pro traders are neutral on XRP price, understand how the whales and arbitrage desks are positioned. One should analyze the quarterly future contracts, premium base rate in the fixed month contracts, eventual demand imbalances, blah, 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 what, you know, whatever. And then you go to this one, and this is a long-term winner in the making, according to Investor Space. And then development in the space, you've got Flare's Canary Network Songbird exits the observation stage. Now, I got to have a statement on this because so many people within the space have been coming out against Flare and saying, where's our Spark token? Where's our Songbird token? Why aren't we getting it? And then they're getting upset about it. And I look at it and I say, you know what? It's going to come when it comes. This is their project, you know, and if they get it wrong, it's going to be destructive to them. You know, you can't be destructive to them. They have to do what's right for their project. And if you're getting Spark token, it's a freebie. You're going to get it when you get it based on the snapshot. Same thing with Songbird. Now, they launched it on September 16th, but there's phases for the rollout. And once they roll it out, things will start happening. It'll go to the right exchanges, whatever. It's going to happen. But there's so much going on with what Flare's potential has, right? Look at this. They're looking at what types of things. Look, fast, complex payments, metaverses, NFTs, DeFi, gaming, the deployment of the network and FTSO passed the observation stage and no unforeseen issues arose. Over 340 validators and over 40 data providers have applied for whitelisting, a similar number to when Polkadot launched their own Canary Network, the Kusama. So there's a lot going on in that space, and we just have to have patience because it's going to happen when it happens and people will get that asset. But the key is that things are moving and generating and developing, and that's what's important. You know, that's what's really important. Thank you, Ani. Thank you very much for that. Happy birthday. That was, yeah, and I'm actually going to have a party tonight, so that's going to be awesome. Appreciate that, Kelly. Yep, that was fantastic. So let's see. Many of the exchanges are not giving Songbird token, so they'll come around. What will be will be. That's what's going to happen. So let's see here. Lots of stuff going on. Just looking through the commentary here. Blockchain will be a blessing to honest, hardworking people and destroy criminals and politicians. That's from Frank. Frank, spot on there. There's a lot going on. It's just amazing. So, Bosbe, imagine they win. I mean, the SEC never had a loss. Would be the SEC has lost. So, if you look it up, the SEC has lost cases. So, when they've lost cases, it ends up on a back page. They never come out and make a big apology or make any kind of big statement to say, hey, by the way, we lost the case. Sorry about that. Sorry, we were detrimental to your business for that period of time. We lost. It ends up on a back page, and that's just kind of how it goes. So there you go. Let's see. Paul Murray saying XRP will drop to 65 cents. Then you're going to load up. Pet Core Nutrition or Pet Care Nutrition. Appreciate that. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you when you come back. James Ryan, great rant, brother, and way overdue. It is way overdue. Lots of stuff going on here. So hang on. Let me go down. Let me drill down here into This one. All right. So there's a couple of statements that came out. You got this billionaire, Chamath Palihapitiya. Well, I don't know if I said his name. He's a Canadian, born in Canada, Canadian businessman. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull this guy up here. Here we go. So first and foremost, Chamath reveals he's put hundreds of millions into Bitcoin and says cryptocurrencies are hard to kill. Now, he's had some really nice statements here. This was on CNBC. Now, think about John Deaton was on Fox Business on Friday. CNBC has been covering crypto often. And here he is again. Here they are again. Chamath, hundreds of millions put into Bitcoin. Obviously, we know MicroStrategy's strategy. The billionaire said it's hard for regulators to kill crypto, calling it the most profound iteration of the internet. He was reluctant to reiterate his previous Bitcoin price prediction, saying it's hard to do so. But I think it's very hard to kill, he says. So technically, it's very difficult. Just the way that it's architected, it is the most profound iteration of the internet we've ever seen. It's amazing, right? The third version is rebuilding all that stuff without an obvious leader. It's completely headless. It's entirely peer-to-peer. And I think that's both scary and exhilarating. Still, SEC's Gensler has continued to ramp up his calls for regulating crypto and DeFi. This shows that Wall Street's top regulator is keen to create a set of rules to oversee the volatile market while balancing the interests of the American innovators and investors. Now, I'm going to come out and disagree with that statement 100%, because the fact that he wants to regulate does not mean that he's keen to create the set of rules that will help, that's in the interest of American investors or innovators. Not true, not profound, inaccurate, my opinion. The Social Capital founder said he's been studying the crypto market for the last 18 months, making him a huge intellectual bull in the space, but his holdings seem to be mostly limited to Bitcoin at this time. I haven't put a lot of money outside of Bitcoin, obviously. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions, like small capital right now. It could get very big. But irrespective of what I do, I will say is we all need to pay attention to it, because I think the implications are enormous. These are big statements, right? Now, he also came out and said he's very worried about inflation, and he's hedging in 3 different ways because inflation is real. The Social Capital founder and CEO likes hyper-growth companies, cash-generating businesses, and a handful of assets like Bitcoin that don't correlate to the former two. Big statements. Now, he's in Bitcoin. As Bitcoin moves, the whole market moves. That's kind of how it's been trended. That's what's been happening. He's in Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's in Bitcoin. We don't know their holdings in other assets. Others are in other assets. The movement is going to other assets. That's it. He told CNBC earlier this year that Bitcoin could reach 200,000 one day, the digital currency around 41,000 at the time of the writing. However, the former Facebook executive did not forecast on crypto when he was on Wednesday. However, he said, I don't know where it goes. I'm a huge intellectual bull. It could get very big. We all need to pay attention. Those are big statements. And then again, he came out. I think it's very hard to kill. It's completely headless. We read that. So those statements. These are big statements from guys that are in the know. They're in this space. They're seeing what's happening. They're hedging their bets. Hedging against the inflation, against what's going on in the fiat space, against what we saw all those politicians marching down. They had this whole show. They're marching with their masks on, and they're going to vote on some spending bill that's going to create the biggest, debt burden on the generations to come this country's ever seen. And then also trying to delete the debt ceiling. It's mind-boggling, but there's pushback, there's resistance, because there's still some people over there that are like, hey, wait a minute, no, this is This is bad. So let's see. We have Bosbay. I really believed in Gary when news about him over the SEC first came. Now I realize that the SEC is just a shit show that won't last and actually has nothing to say regarding regular rules. Nothing. So the fact they keep pushing it back to them to say, hey, by the way, we need the SEC to put some sort of regulation and clarity together on its face is false. Because in order to get true regulatory clarity, it has to go through Congress. They have to pass legislation to make it possible for regulatory clarity. Period. Full stop. That's it. That's all that needs to happen. There's multiple bills that have been in front of Congress that can get that kind of momentum. We see Senator Pat Toomey. We see Warren Davidson. We see Darren Soto and others, Ted Budd and others that have been very outspoken about bringing true regulatory legislation to the table to make it possible for people to innovate in the space in the United States and not, but to everyone's benefit around the world, to everyone's benefit, because as they keep dragging their feet on this and creating all these problems, innovation will inevitably be pushed offshores to other countries. That's just how it's going to go. That's it. I mean, why would we expect any different? Look at, what is it? FTX. Is that the company? What's his name? The Miami Arena has that. He's moved from Hong Kong to the Bahamas. Now, he was in Hong Kong because most of his trade, it was over in that area. Now he's in the Bahamas because of clean regulation on cryptocurrency space. China shutting things down. Why are they shutting it down? It's obvious. They're shutting it down because they see it as a direct competitor to what their initiative is for their digital yuan for regional control and people control. That's it, right? It's obvious what's going on. It's so clear. And because of that, it's pushing everything up. It's pushing everything up in the crypto space everywhere but in China. Now, the US could be the exact same thing. It could mimic what happened there, and it's going to push it. We just read the other day in Europe that they've now exceeded $1 trillion in movement of crypto. It's the biggest space in the world right now over in Europe based on crypto transactions. You know, that's massive. That's really, really big. So let's see here. The SEC delaying 4 ETFs. Really? I didn't see that one coming. I didn't know that the SEC would once again try to delay ETFs in the space. The agency extends its review of applications from Global X, Cryptcoin, Valkyrie, and Wisdom Tree so they're going to just keep pushing it off. The U.S. Securities Exchange has delayed its decision on 4 proposals of Bitcoin ETFs. Again, kicking it down the road. They're not going to do it. They don't want to do it. They keep pushing it, right? It was actually extended by 45 days for 2 of the funds and 60 for the other 2. Okay, so wonderful. So they're going to keep dragging their feet as they try to, gain their own traction. And meanwhile, in Planet Miami, right? Meanwhile, in Miami, the city of Miami has now generated in the past 2 months $7.8 million with Miami coin. Miami-centric cryptocurrency MIA is contributing nearly $8 million to the city coffers in just 2 months. Gary, where are you, Gary? Where are you, Gary? Why aren't you looking into this one, Gary? Is this an unregistered security, Gary? What's going on with Miami coin? Are they allowed to do this, Gary? Can Miami net $8 million? How amazing is it that Miami is doing this, right? Coming soon to a town near you, $8 million, right? The Miami over there, the current Miami City wallet balance is valued at 7.8 million. That's full transparency. Why? Because it's on the blockchain. It's transparent. It's the best thing for the people because they can see what's happening. CityCoin is a blockchain project that allows people to invest in cities by buying or mining their corresponding token. In return, users can earn yields in Bitcoin or stacks STX tokens. People benefiting off of the investment that benefits them and the city they live in. How great is that? Miami on the cutting edge. Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, on the cutting edge, wants to turn the city of Miami into the cryptocurrency innovation hub. Thank God for Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida for allowing the mayor of Miami the freedom to do what he's doing. Amazing. It's amazing, right? The state of Florida is getting ready to explode financially, while other cities and other states around the country are getting ready to implode based on incorrect monetary policy. It's amazing. It's amazing, right? So that's what I've got to say. You guys are amazing, really, really amazing. You know, it's really great things. Ron DeSantis closing on American trade deals. Man, there are some amazing American trade deals that are coming to Florida. Ron DeSantis the other day talking about lots of projects wanting to bring more people to the space to grow the economy, manufacturing, Miami with cryptocurrency, the innovation hub of the world. Let it leave Silicon Valley. It doesn't belong in California any longer. California's lost. They've mistreated innovation. It needs to leave from the talons of those in socialist California. Leave it behind. Bring innovation to the state of Florida, because this is where you need to be. This is where you'll have the freedom to innovate and to build and to make it amazing. And as Doug said, Florida, Texas, Alaska, Wyoming, amazing. It's amazing, right? This is the place. This is what it's all about. This is what you have to be excited about. Now you put it into the ledger, you put it onto the cryptocurrency or onto the blockchain, it becomes transparent. Put voting onto the blockchain. Let's have full transparency in voting. One person, one vote. You want to vote from home. You want to vote on your cell phone. I don't care where you vote from. One person, one vote. You get, it might be a little overreaching. You do it through facial recognition, fingerprint recognition, whatever it is. One person, one vote. That's it. You don't have that ability, then that's it. There's no methodology of coercion and cheating and all the other stuff that could go on with the fake paper ballots that have gone out there. I did say it. I said it, because there's no transparency. Put voting on the blockchain, just like the economy deserves to be on the blockchain. Full transparency. It's amazing. And Miami, I'm telling you, Miami is taking that step, because the next thing to come for Miami could be voting on the blockchain. How amazing is it? Being the innovation center of the world, the innovation hub of the world in Miami, for sure, the innovation hub of the United States. Let it all leave. Let all that money come into Miami and see Miami just explode and flourish. And this will be the center of everything that is crypto. Right? It's great. It's amazing. I love it. It's like Bitcoin. It's on the blockchain protocol. So whenever the coin is mined, a percentage of the coin by virtue of the programming goes to the city of Miami. Right? It's amazing. On September 13th, Miami City Commissioners agreed to accept donations in MIA. A vote described by CityCoin as a major milestone. Miami's recent vote to accept their protocol contributions is a major milestone, with so many people building with MIA and exploring ways to activate other cities. City coins can make history in more ways than one. Started right here in Miami. Forget politics, forget his political party that he belongs to right now for a moment, and look at what's happening. This is what's possible, guys. This is what's possible all over. So it's amazing to me, right? On the front lines. And that's why Ani's saying, go Miami. Who would have thought that it'd be Miami? Thank God for Florida. Thank God for Miami. So that's it. That's my rant for today. You guys are awesome. I went a little bit over time. You guys realize we do stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys haven't done so already, and this is your first time here, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notifier, because you guys know what to do, right? It's easy. This is what it looks like on YouTube. Subscribe, bell, thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. You guys are amazing. You want to get more content like this, then you subscribe. You want to get notified, you hit the notification. And it's amazing, right? You're here with us live 6 days a week, and we have a lot of fun. So with that, also, Chip was shouting out, was it Ani's channel? You have a brand new YouTube channel over there that's growing. So I think Chip had the link to that. You can throw that in there again, and it's great. It's great. We got a lot of stuff going on for this coming week as well, and that's it, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys back on tomorrow night, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, we will check you out on the next one. I am out of here. Almost hit the wrong button, and we would have started all over again. So I'm out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.